Hey everybody. It is November 8th. This is B2B Rocks. We're going to be talking a little bit about SaaS products, MVPs, how we get all this going. Today's guest is Axel-Aigret. I hope I pronounced that correctly. He's they can't hear you yet, Axel. Axel-Aigret is on the other line here. We're going to bring him in here in just a second, and he's with a company called Highlight. So Axel has a lot of experience building MVPs with different companies, and so we're gonna dive into this and see all the different mistakes we can make and how we can avoid some of these mistakes. While I was doing research for this segment, I started thinking about all the books that I've read and that I've wanted to read in technology and SaaS. And I think a theme that's going to come up and a book that I've wanted to read for a long time is it's hard to keep things simple. And so we're going to learn a little bit and talk with Axel about that. So with that, let me bring in Axel here. Let me make sure his mic's on. Hey, Axel, you there?
Hey,
Can,
yeah, I'm there.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you
Uh,
perfectly well.
okay, great. Let me just say hello to the audience out there. Hello, world. I think it's the first thing we learn in programming. Um,
Yeah, I
so
did.
you did? That's right. You said.
Yeah,
Let's talk a little bit about your background. What did you study? Did you study programming?
yeah. I have a complex background because I started as a developer, okay, and you engineer, and from there I launched a startup with my co-founder, CTO. Okay, we did I think every problem we have it, On this first startup, so we learn a lot, and we understand that marketing and selling is very important. Just you cannot just dev what you want and it will work. So we learn it the hard way by doing it. So I did marketing after that, do a lot of consulting for a big brand, more on social media because we was first on developing Facebook API to create many contests, so many viral contests. At this time, we have success on creating 30,000 users email free without zero of ads with zero of ads of money invest I moved to the UX because I love so much great product, great SaaS. And after that I begin to love product management because I seen that the real problem is to create a great product, and it's very difficult. And right now we are in the product-led growth, and we understand more and more that the product is a start.
Yeah. And we have the expression in English, all roads lead to Rome. But, if you start out with a flawed product concept, you're not going to get to where you want to go. It's funny you said that you mentioned that you made all the mistakes you could possibly make. So
Yeah.
when you do your own startup, that gives you the opportunity to make those mistakes. And then engineering background, and then having worked in marketing, having done a startup, and also with UX, that's probably a pretty good foundation for actually building building an MVP and working with people on their products. So you started Highlight. How long ago? How long has Highlight been around?
It's 12 year right now. It's yeah, many life. I like we did many things. And we create a side business, but we sell too. One in virtual reality. So it was with Oculus, and it was for health tech, and we sell it. One in e-commerce shop, and we sell it. Just to focus 5 years ago, I think, really on SaaS and only SaaS because we was back to the root of what we love, and it was creating SaaS. So we do only that right now.
Yeah, and you said, I think the last time we met, you said SaaS and only B2B SaaS. You don't really dabble in anything else.
Yeah.
Okay, so specifically B2B.
No, SaaS, B2B, innovative.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. We don't want to create or duplicate to do, a cheaper version or something else. We want to innovate and create great UX.
Okay. Yeah, and I think of course, we did a lot of webinars last year, and was talked with a lot of people on product led growth, and product led
Yeah.
growth now more and more. your product is really going to define your ability, how quickly you can scale. If you have a great product,
Yeah.
and I think what's interesting is you have the product, but you also need to have great processes, great people, and then build everything around that product. And that's a whole nother can of worms. How many MVPs have you been a part of? How many have you worked on
I
now?
think I think maybe 8, 10.
8, 10.
Yeah, yeah, 8 to 10, I think, because we work on product for we are really partner with startup. Okay, so I like the SaaS studio for startup, and we are really a grow partner with them. So we help them to grow from idea to product market fit. So it takes years. So we are not a lot of on SaaS on product, but we want to have we are more boutique. So we work with less client, but long run.
Okay, on the long run. So how long do you
Yeah.
typically engage with your clients? How long does the engagements typically last? Is there an average
Normally
time?
it's yeah, average time is 3 year.
Okay. So I
Yeah,
can't
it's 3 year.
I can't tell you how many great ideas I think I've had over the course of my life, but I've never been able to get them to MVP. So what am I doing wrong? What is this process like? How do we do this?
Okay, so for the MVP, really, I think you have many phases on MVP. And ID is not you can have many ID. I have a big backlog, right, from me. So if you are a founder, you don't have ID, come in. I can give you a big Excel of ID
That's
to
great.
pursue. But it's really the execution part. And in innovation, you must pursue a real complex and really complex for human methodology, because you need a lot of empathy, you need a lot of hypothesis and validation. So you must not love your. I think it's the first slide of my don'ts for the MVP. But I have created some do and don'ts that I can show you
Yeah. Why don't you do that?
to
Hold
show.
that.
Yeah. Oh, so the do and don't for building a SaaS MVP. I play a little bit with. Is the name of the software. I love it. If you want to try it, it's very cool. Normally, it's for presentation, sales tech more, but it's really cool for presentation too. So this is my QR code if you want to connect. So it's more on the you will have access to everything. So what we do, I like the SaaS studio, and the next is a SaaS product. A SaaS product because I will just introduce this after we go to the slide, but as we created a lot of and many SaaS in many vertical with the studio, we've encountered every time the same problem, a lot of same problem for SaaS and for SaaS B2B innovation. So normally we are the product team for our client. Okay, we have us as external product team, but we are really relationship really strong because we work with them a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And the SaaS product is more a community because we want to create a community of product focus founder. Okay, not sales, not market, product. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
don't really founder, but thinks product first and help them to for SaaS maker to create better SaaS faster. Okay, so it's I want to speak about that because right now it's free. We meet in Dublin. We launched it at SaaSter in San Francisco. So right now it's free and in not so many time because it's the number of people. It will be paid afterward.
Okay.
So you can check.
So
Okay.
I just put up the link in the chat room. So it's
Thank you.
www.asasproduct.com. And my favorite part is the manifesto. And so I suggest you go read the
Yeah, you love
manifesto.
it?
Yeah, I do. I suggest you
Cool.
go read it before they make it paid. Someone can digitize a
Yeah.
copy here. All right, keep going.
Yeah, just for the fun fact on the manifesto,
Yeah.
I did the same thing. I advise you to do on the MVP. I write a lot and I cut a lot.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing for MVP. But the manifesto is really cool, and yeah, I will add more on it because there are so much to say about that.
Okay.
So I have cut and group
Mm-hmm.
the do and don'ts on 3 stages. So you have the product preliminary stage, right? But it's rush a lot of time. It's too much rush for me. Okay, we are really we apply a methodology on it,
Okay.
and we really care about that. After that, you have the product development stage
Mm-hmm.
where you know what you want to create, you create it, and this really you want to create this MVP, this size for this user, for this outcome, and you go. And after you have the product launch. So we will see each phase with the don'ts and the do,
Okay.
each one after all. Okay.
Yeah, great.
So the first one for me is don't love your idea of a solution. Really, it's a big problem that I see a lot as founder. You always will love too much your idea of your solution. It's a cognitive biais, and it's a really a blind spot.
Okay, so
So
so I had as one of my questions, do founders fall in love
yeah,
with their idea? And it sounds like we absolutely, or founders absolutely fall in love with their ideas, and then it's hard to get them maybe to pivot a little bit and change direction. So be open to criticism, to advice.
yeah. It's not be open. It's be humble.
Be humble.
You
Okay.
Yeah, really be humble, like a samurai, like a Japanese guy that don't know that he don't know.
Yeah.
So you must really learn to know what you don't know many times, 8 times on 10,
Okay.
8 times on 10.
Okay.
So execution matter more than your idea. And execution is what? Is to be customer centric, is to be in the humble way of the Yoda way, to 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 ask, to be really empathic, and to try and to test and to validate and don't judge fast.
Hmm.
So you must love really the advice on this is really love the problem. If you love the problem, the solution can change multi-phase, multi-way, multi-time. It's not a problem. You will love to continue to work on this idea, and many times people love the solution, but not the problem. So it's really something to care about a lot.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Another don't target everyone. Do focus on one champion, one outcome for them to be better, to improve, because it's why the user or customer don't want a product, don't want a software or services. They want the outcome. Only that. So you must really target, very focus one champion for the MVP, really. And at the beginning, for the MVP, people try to please 1, 2, 3 users, and it's the 3 champion. It's too many. At the beginning, you really want one.
Okay. I think I want to be really as specific as possible.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes we use marketing speak like we're used to it, but I'm not sure. Like a champion, can you give us an example of a champion in an organization for an MVP you worked on or something
Yeah,
like
it's
that? Oh yeah.
when I say what champion, to be clear, is the user you want to help.
Yeah.
It's just this, yeah. It's your champion, okay? It's your hero. It's the user you want to transform in a hero,
Okay.
okay? Because you need this one. It's, I don't know, an example. If you are if you are in developer way, it could be improve, okay, the velocity of shipment of new feature for the CTO, okay, or for the product manager. If it's the champion is the product manager, so it's improve velocity maybe. You see, so you must choose one user, one champion, and stay on that, because to be to attain, okay, to have this outcome and to help him to have this outcome, you will need normally the other type of user that connect to him, okay, in the company, in the software, in the product, to use it to have this outcome. So even if you have just one champion, you will need to add other type of user.
Huh.
Okay.
Good to know.
Yeah, is it and for ideation phase, because we create idea, we go from idea, okay,
Mhm.
to MVP, and it's really something we do in the the validation phase of the MVP. It's really choose a champion and choose the flow that you will change really in a great way. A great experience. Something that you change really the not 1 or 2 times. It's 10x more better. It's 10x better. And to do that, it's a lot of work. So you must be focused. Okay.
Okay.
So I continue. One I see a lot is this one. It's feature overload. So a lot of time, yeah, founder want to add so much feature because it's like cake. It's like more you have, more it's better. But it's like cake. It's not because you have more, but you will eat all. Okay, so you don't have the space to eat all. So really, yeah, don't add feature. You will create an MVP that will be we love it to call them SaaS obesity.
SaaS
When you add
obesity.
to yeah, when you add so much feature, it's a big cat that it's too much. So too much feature.
But but but
Now,
al- but but also that would seem to be, I mean, just logical because we say MVP, minimum viable product. So it should be, as you're just trying to show the. I guess it is a product, so you need to have the functionality in there to make it viable. But it seemed like you'd want to keep it as thin as possible, so that makes sense.
yeah, normally minimum viable product
Yeah.
is to asset and to validate the viability of the product. And the viability is more in the usage and in the payment.
Okay.
Okay, but I will speak a little bit in the next in the do and don't. I prefer at MVP, even if we speak on MVP because it's what is known the most. I prefer minimum lovable product.
Okay.
I think it's better. I
I'm
will
sorry. Can
speak
you repeat that term?
lovable. Yeah,
Minimum lovable product.
yeah.
I
Where
like
you
it. I
are
like.
focused, you
Okay.
are not focused on selling it.
Uh,
You don't want to assess the viability of the product in the product, but you want to assess the. You don't want to do the minimum that user can use it. A minimum
yeah.
via product is more that people use it, people can pay it, but they are not fond of. Okay, minimum lovable product is the opposite. It's I don't want them to pay right now, but I want them to crush for it, to love it.
Yeah. That
Okay, it's not the same thing.
Yeah, I think that's a great concept because a minimum viable product that doesn't get you excited at all, but the idea of a minimum lovable product and that really puts the focus on UX and experience and shows that you've really solved a problem and are customer centric. If someone in the group asked the question, they asked you, do you think
Yeah,
that your UX background helped you learn to be humble? Or where do you think you got
yeah.
the concept of humble from? Is it from UX or did it come from another place?
It's from UX definitely
Okay.
because you must when you do interview with user to erase yourself from the equation. So yeah, really, and it's come from another thing. It's come from many failure
Yeah.
of many project, many thing I did try. It can be companies, it can be projects, can be so. With more and more experiences, you know that you don't know and
Mhm.
you know that you must validate and you know that you must be around other people that complete you too because everyone has blind spot. There are no god, so you really must be
All right.
around people that help you complete you to see clearly things in the truth of reality. It's really something I see a lot. It's and in day-to-day life, people don't want to face too fast and or too much reality. But really, when you are open to face without fear the reality, every time you win. You win time, you win money every time.
I like it because this conversation goes. That's a really deep philosophical thing. So that's interesting. Is that we learn 100 times more from our failures than we do from our successes,
Yeah.
and a good friend, a good colleague, they help us see our blind spots. So that's great. Please continue. So don't overload with features. Okay.
Yeah, so on this one for two reasons. You will always as we always has not enough resource. We always don't have enough resource to do what you want. Okay, even if you have Series A, Series B, Series C, even if a lot of money, you don't have enough resource. And resource is what? It's time. It's human. It's even if you have a lot of money, you can hire a great team in 2 weeks. It's not possible. It's not possible. So keep things short and lean. Be lean. I'm passionate about lean. So be passionate about lean too, I think, and don't charge the feature way.
Okay.
And another thing I really want to to tell you is the rule of 303 C. It's what? It's 30 and 3. So you take your MVP, okay? You have the feature list, okay? Normally it's an Excel. Uh, and you see it, you have, I don't know, 100, okay, line.
Hmm.
And I give you this advice to know and to understand when you can cut and what's your core feature. It's really to cut 3 times 30%.
Okay.
It's really hard. It's really hard. And for this reason, it's really cool to do it. So you cut features and you try to keep the maximum value at the end for the champion. And you will see it's really, really informative on what you can remove from the day one.
Yeah. Okay. Just
Okay.
reduce it to the essential. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, reduce it to is essential, but many time people try and begin with essential, but finish with non-essential. So you must do it at the end before studying. At the end, you can redo this exercise. It's really interesting. It's like the 5 why, but not to find the why, it's more to declutter a big list. And you will always have the time to add it in the future, but you must know pretty well what your core feature what you have the most value um, for your user. Okay.
Okay.
So we have finished the don't for the preliminary stage of the product. We can check the do too. So the do, I advise a lot to validate the desirability of the product before creating, the MVP, and to do it with real people, because a lot of time it's only the founder or the founder with friend, you know. So really, it's really important to validate user needs. And what we do and what we love to do, I think it's really helpful to have it, is you must test the desirability with a satisfaction test. So satisfaction is what? Is you have a goal, the champion. You want to attain an outcome. To do that, you will have many paths, many things to do, many flow. You want to test this with your user and see at the end if they did it. Okay, and you can test this without creating an MVP. It's what we do. You will see if they love it. But if they love it, or it's okay. It's not the same thing. You want they love it because you don't want to develop something they don't love.
Yeah.
Okay.
The MLP again, most lovable product. Okay.
Yeah, we apply this a lot. So you must test it and you learn a lot and you can iterate on this. Okay, you can iterate on this and what we do before developing the MVP. So we learn a lot before developing. Um, because development and MVP is like a house. When you create it and you want to change it, it costs more. When you want to break it, to recreate it, to reframe it. Okay, so it's really cheaper to iterate on the blueprint. You know, and with technology right now, we can really test things on Figma. We use a lot of Figma for that, but there are other tools. And you really test things and see if people love it. So validate the satisfaction of users.
I want to draw attention to something you just said there, because when you do an MVP or an MLP, what you said, it's costly if you have to break it and go back and change something or reiterate or what have you. But I just want to point out that it's costly, but it's also costly in terms of time too. So
Yeah,
so not only are you spending the money on the development resources, and even if you're outsourcing, a team still costs money, but it's also the time, and also if people are watching you as well. So it's also there's also credibility issue as well. So just keep continuing. I'm sorry, I just wanted to point that out.
No, no, it's okay. It's interesting to have your point. And so, yeah, it's time. And you know what? I don't know if I have the link somewhere. I think it's on the manifesto, but um, if you go to the manifesto and SaaS product, you have a link. Very interesting. I love it to share it. The main reason startup fail.
Hmm.
It's really interesting. It's not invest. It's not what we think it can be. It's time to market.
Time to market.
And time to market is what? It's velocity, it's speed of improvement, and to you must go fast, but you must go fast, customer-centric way. So you must find, understand your customer, your user, your champion, and deliver fast. And if you do that, yeah, it's okay. You have this one, and the second, I think it's team. So execution, really,
Yep.
you man. Um, Another test you can do in validate disability is what we do too. It's buying intent. So we can try price. You can try elasticity of price before creating the MVP. And you know, right now we speak about MVP, but what we want to create is a viable business. You know, and for me, the business is a business model. The product is a business model. It's not just the product. We have a lot of SaaS in product-led growth that we know it works, so it's more easy to understand right now. But really, yeah, it's the complete vision of the business that you must test. So it's cool to test the buying intent before even invest in an MVP.
I think that's an important point you point out, which is we're talking about product here, but you really want to create something that you can create a viable business around that. And I often tell people
Yeah.
now with SaaS, product isn't just the product anymore. Product is what I call all the P's. So processes, people, philosophy, all these other things. And if you don't have it, you can create a great product, but if your people are flawed and the processes are flawed, then you undermine when people contact you, they lose confidence in you, and your product will never even see their desktop. So no, it's exactly right. Okay, keep going. Validate.
Ah, I love it. I love what just the many P. It's true. So yeah, the next one is more on it's really forgotten a lot, and it's really start with a small scope, really small scope. So it's really on the tree cut, tree cut, the 303 C, and start with a small scope, but with high quality. And so focus a lot on one thing, one champion, one use case, but do it so great. So people say it must be not just good, it must be remarkable. And it's really difficult to do. So I think it's really an advice to start with start small. And it's really humble to do that because you want to add features. You have a many idea the idea to add, but you must focus. You see what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, it's clear.
Okay, so another one is it's really do a strong market analysis before MVP. Normally they are not done or not quite. People don't want to check too much or search too much the good keywords to find their competitor, but they have competitor many times. So take the time to do market discovery, take the time to do user discovery. This phase is really not done a lot of time, and yeah, research before spending. I think is really the meaning of that. You need to do it.
Okay, so you talked about user discovery, you talked about market discovery, and then
Yeah.
does this influence, like, for example, if you look at the marketplace and there's already an established marketplace, are you going to be looking to counter position the product early on, and so that the product early on is differentiating, or um I guess what ways have you seen the market analysis used, and what are
Okay.
the
It's really, I love the Blue Ocean book. I read a lot, and I love the positioning. I think we are a big big thing on positioning for SaaS, because SaaS is software. Software is not really sexy at the beginning. You must really have something that, that's something that differentiates you on the market. So you must clearly know what others do better than you and what you will do better than them. And this thing is normally not really done well. So you must do a market analysis on competitor, but on what they manage and what they manage at which quality,
Hmm.
okay? And how you want to position yourself on the product line, but on the business line, so more on the positioning price, the 4P,
Okay.
it's really important. And I think branding for that is really another thing you can take into account. So the voice of how you speak with your customer, client, users. Okay.
Yep. Absolutely.
Mhm. Another one is to do an excellent experience. Is really key, I think, to a lovable product. So many time it's more we want to add functionality, we want it works, but we don't think of reinvent the experience. But I think right now what you want to have it's a minimum lovable product and you want to create a new experience. I think the value that we create in software is more right now because before 10 years ago, yeah, software was in the in the basement level, the level 0. It must work. Yeah, right now it's worked pretty well and it's pretty cool. Everyone can launch a SaaS pretty fast and with high quality. So you must be better, really better.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, yeah, you must have a great experience because experience at first sight is what will with love, develop love, and love usually sticks. Stick for that and speak. You have virality of experience because you create something that nobody knows. So they say, "Hey, it's really cool. I want to use it another time. I want to speak of this product to my friend, to my coworker, etc." And it's include, yeah, in MVP, it's not done a lot. It include onboarding. It's fine. You cannot add everything, but you must include a little onboarding, a good onboarding, and you will evolve on it and improve it on the time. But yeah, include onboarding.
Yeah, I think keeping things simple is so hard. So to keep, I mean, just the exercise of keeping, creating a minimum lovable product and keeping just the core essential in there and doing the onboarding, it sounds easy. My guess is you can spend a lot of time just figuring out what's essential and how to make something as intuitive and easy to use as possible.
Yeah, yeah, you're right because there are many cases just for one champion because there are. Yeah, I did create a lot of flow of onboarding and it's complex. It's really complex and you must test this a lot of time. You have only one time to do a
Impression,
good
yeah,
first impression.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and for products, same thing. Same thing. So if you if you invite some beta users and they see, yeah, I don't understand, boom, they judge you and they don't really come back to you in 1 year, 2 year.
Well,
It's every time it's that.
I talk about, now in software, we know when people have, requested access, if it's like a freemium model and they've started to use it. Well, I've talked with a lot of marketing execs and sales execs. If you're or revenue executives, if the person has requested access and they're not using it in the first hour, or they haven't used it in the first day, the chances are they're never going to use your product. So it goes back to the point
Yeah,
of
but
for first
yeah.
first impression, intuitive. You've got to get there and go, okay, this makes sense, and the onboarding. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, I love it. And there are a name on that, and it's FUX, first user experience. And product that is more, viral and one is more community that want to like Facebook, but not just social network. Really product that is more community. they invest a lot of effort on this first user experience because it's the first time. What you want to have a cycle of virality. I know it because I have created 100 contests with virality, and it's what we done. It's what it's what we add in it. So you have one loop, and you must have virality in just one use of the software. So yeah, the first user experience is really important. Yeah, so we can go now. You have done every preliminary evaluation. You have validate your desirability. You have validate your feasibility more in the tech, but you will do the MVP to assess that. What you want to create right now is a minimum viable product, but minimum lovable product first. And for this, you must go in the product development stage. So in this stage, you want to create the product, and you have a lot of don't. So don't start without a product strategy. A lot of time, founders don't have an idea of solution, but don't have a clearly product strategy. So product strategy is something to respect. It's a product mindset. It's your company, it's product-led growth. So it's really company your vision. You don't want to add or to go off this product strategy, and it's really fast to go off if you heard everyone asking for many things. Okay, if you heard everyone saying, "Hey, we must go that. Hey, we must go that," and you go everywhere, you go nowhere. So
Okay.
define and have product strategy.
Okay, so just for clarity, are you talking about like when you have your product vision, you establish your product
Yeah,
roadmap, and then sometimes you meet prospects and they're like, "Oh, if only you did this, if only you did that," and then you have the salespeople starting
yeah, yeah.
yeah, starting
Yeah, in your team, you will have a lot of people that tell you other thing to do. You must have a product strategy. So you must have. I didn't write it, but I love the technique of the three pillars. So you will have three main differentiator that position you. It's like the manifesto. You can write a manifesto that clearly establish your way of vision, and it will not change. Okay, you have the faith, in that, and it's define your product. And I think a lot of product is and beta user loves okay, I have faith in your vision, and I know that your product right now is not so good, little crappy, but I know where you want to go, and I love that.
yeah.
And if you keep this, I will follow you.
Yeah, I think that
So I have a product strategy, yeah, secure you for me.
yeah, I just want to call attention to other things. I've seen a lot of startups do working at startups is that you'll find prospects and they'll say, "Hey, do this, do this, do this," and then the sales or the marketing or the people responsible say, "Oh, we're going to shift our product strategy," and they go here, and then you don't get the sale. And then if you do that repeatedly, not only do you waste time and money and everything, but also the engineering team starts to look at the salespeople and the marketing people and say they lose confidence in them and they're like they really don't know what they're doing. So a product strategy, a product roadmap, these are fixed. These are not. These are the things you've chosen to do. And once you've exposed other prospects to that and said, "Hey, this is where we're going to go," you should only change that as a last resort. So I just want.
Yeah, no, it's really true. And if you everyone must rely on the product strategy and must be clear and love it. Okay, and if you change every time, you can lose your customer, your client, but opportunity too. But you can lose what you say, your best asset, your team.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, be careful on that. So it's the first thing. The second don't is really to over-engineer the MVP. It must go fast. I think for me, a good MVP is less than 4 months. It can be between 2 and 4. This could be one if you have maybe a tech base, something to go faster on it. But yeah, go fast. Don't over engineer MVP. Uh, do have an engineering core, so you know what will where in the development you will excel. You know, if it's I don't know data science, okay, you know that in this data science for I don't know, you take an Excel and transform it, well, something. You must know where you are better than other and really do it. Just this. And all the other thing, you don't do it.
Okay, that's fine. I get that. So that makes sense. So I mean, you shouldn't. It's a MLP. It's an MVP MLP. So you don't want to take a year or 2 years to do this.
No.
So I guess
No, because you know why?
yeah.
Because you want fast feedback of reality.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. But my question is, what about technologies? Do you look at the technologies that are likely to be used going forward, so that people can use that legacy code going forward, or is it a one off? Is it something you're just gonna make, use to get feedback, and then you're gonna put it away and then build a real product? Do you
Mm,
see my question?
yeah, I see your question. It's really interesting. It's really depend.
Okay.
It's really depend. For me, I prefer, I really advise to start with a good base, a good foundation.
Yeah.
Why? Because if you start with, you will see just. I think we can jump to it because it's connected. If you under engineer your MVP, it's another don't.
Yeah.
You will have big problem, but you delay them. Okay. If you are succeed, I didn't find someone that start with something that's not good enough. Okay,
Yeah.
that would change it. They will change it too late, and it will cost a lot. A lot. I seen some founders redoing their SaaS, and you have complete example of public example, open example of SaaS that we do the 100% of their SaaS 3 years after the launch.
Wow.
Okay, so it's a big cost. It's 300 plus 300,000 plus. Yeah, it's really big. So I really be careful to use if you use no code. You want to use no code maybe for validating. You can do that.
Hmm.
But right after you are validating, don't begin to work on it and evolve it and improve it just only no code, because no code will have, I think, if you want to create a business, and if your business is a SaaS, okay, if it's services, it's not the same way. But if it's SaaS, really, you must own your what you do, because you must, you must own it. You must uh,
But
control the entire experiences.
so it sounds like no code could be useful for creating something that illustrates the value proposition, but as soon as you've gotten validation, as soon as you've gotten feedback, you're going to want to engineer the thing correctly as you start to build it
Yeah,
out.
I think no code is really better for service business, but not so much for software business. For me, uh, for for software business, we want innovative software business. It's difficult to create innovation with no code right now. You
Okay.
can create it, but innovative, not so much. So you innovate in the market, you innovate in the offer, you innovate, so it's more, it's not, it's over innovation, but you will not have an innovation of the software, the experience in the software. You have another thing that no code, you have non-scalable. I seen that so many times too, that you begin with a technology, right? It's not so much scalable, but you don't see it or don't know it. And your business model needs scalability. But because you are, as a lot of time is because they don't have the good dev resource or tech resource or tech advice too. Um, they start with something that don't scale, and 3 years after they must redo it completely. So it's really big tech debt. We call it tech debt.
Yeah.
It's gonna be go fast, fast, because we in the SaaS we invest so much money in the product that the tech debt grow very fast too.
And
The good thing on, yeah,
I was gonna say it also happens a lot of times with mergers and acquisitions. They're bringing in other products and trying to merge two bases and get
I am.
really
Yeah,
complex.
yeah, yeah, I
But
see what you mean.
yeah, I'm sorry.
No, no, it's okay. The good thing for under engineer is it can be fixed.
Okay.
The previous one, over engineer, cannot be fixed. It's really, yeah, it's really cool to see it. And the tendency of human is to over engineer, over complex thing. It's not to simplify. It's what you say many times.
Yeah.
Hard to simplify thing, you know. So another thing, it's in the product development phase, it's do UX later. I think it's really shame to do that because you can really use UX as an innovation asset to differentiate yourself. And right now, users B2C and B2B ask it. You know, they ask it as a normal thing. They don't want a good UX. Is for them, it's normal right now. So I think you have UX depth. I have fixed UX dev for big SaaS, and it's costs a lot, and it's not fast.
Yeah. Well.
So you must redo, re-implement, redo all the flow, a lot of documentation on the product, a lot of tests on user because you don't know which one want what. So all it's really a debt, a debt.
Yeah. Yeah.
You must,
I get that.
you see, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we can go to the do. It's okay for you?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So the do, it's for first thing, I think it's develop the core feature only. So it's very difficult for people to clearly have a vision of what they need to be good in tech. You can have you craft an experience, a great experience, an amazing experience for a new SaaS innovation, innovative B2B. Okay, but in this experience, many things exist in a tech way. Like you can rent, then you can buy, then you can use, and not recode. Okay, not redevelop, but you must so define and define what is your core feature that you will have only you, okay, and be an asset for you. So really, it's important to search before development, and many people don't do it, and so we create and redo things that exist. And it's really a shame because they lose so many time and asset and resources on recode and redo things that exist. And after that, it's not just the redo part; it's the maintain part. Right? It's called the most. I speak with a SaaS company, and they tell me we have two teams, and the first team is just to maintain what we have. The second team is to add features. Okay, and the first team it's 80% of the developer resource.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
so it's really it's really a game because you pay 100,
Yeah. You're right. Right.
and you
Right.
want to add value. You want to add value, and your customer, because they pay every month, they want to add more improvement, new features, new things. So if you on 180, 18 is for the old one, yeah, you must be careful
But it's funny.
because you must. Yeah, go for it.
It just reminds me of a conversation I had about last week where I met with a SaaS company and they said, "Oh, we have 150 developers and we're always innovating."
Yeah,
And in my head, I was thinking to myself, "Well, that depends. Are those developers focused on innovation, or are they just keeping your code base going?" Because they had said they had bought like
yeah,
4 companies, and I'm like, "There's probably a lot of code bloat there and legacy, and trying
yeah,
to integrate all that stuff and trying to figure out what people did in the past." And so 150 engineers can be great, or it can be not enough, depending on how you
yeah,
and depending on how you've organized things and what your focuses are or what your focus is. So no, I definitely hear you. Okay, keep
yeah. So yeah, be focused and buy or delegate the maximum of thing you can, because you will go faster. Always a way to go faster and leaner.
Mm.
Okay, you don't need to be the master of everything. And the founder, tech founder, has a lot this problem, because they want to create, they want to build, but no, you want to. I sell this idea to tech founder this way. I tell them it's really cool to say this way. Development human time of developer is too precious to spend it on something that is already done by someone. That his mission is to do that.
Hmm.
So your startup is not to do that precisely. So don't do it.
Yeah,
Okay, rent it, pay it, and integrate in your software too. But don't do it.
good point.
Another thing is in the development phase, it's really to speak start to finish the same language. A lot of time between teams, developer, product manager, UX designer, customer, sales, market. You must do a lecture. It's really important. We speak the same language. In the innovation, it's really important, because innovation, we create things. So a lot of things is new. We connect things, and but it's not connect before. So yeah, for the team alignment and intern external communication is really important. Okay for you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard. I mean, we have a term in English, cross talking, and you see people at the table and they're
Mm.
talking about the same thing, but they don't see it at all differently. And sometimes you can just sit there and you say, no, they don't understand each other. And just simple communication, just simple ideas can be hard. So
Yeah, and what you say is really interesting. It's really the truth. I see it a lot too without lexic. And the baddest thing you can have is you have cost talking
mhm.
and you don't know it. You are not conscious of it.
Yeah,
Okay, people don't know, they don't speak about the same thing, and yeah, it's a mess. So another one is to be scalable day one. Be scalable is the opposite of what it's to be yeah, scalable. But the opposite of the don't I speak some time ago.
sure.
It's not good to redo. It's not, and then you don't have a good time. It's more. You don't have a good time to redo. Every founder I met, they will say, yeah, we'll do it after, yeah. But now we have customer, we have partner, yeah. But no, they don't do it when it must crash. You must have a big problem of one customer to redo, and you don't have the time. You are a startup, you must go fast, and you must add continuously. So really, for me, it's an advice from the MVP: be scalable day one, even if you don't want to be 1,000 people day one, but have the foundation, good and foundation. It's like a house. You don't want to create a big house on a bad foundation.
Yeah.
Same thing.
When you talk about
So
scalability, hold on.
yeah,
So a lot of times when we're doing the development, okay, so let's say if we're talking about a SaaS tool, a lot of the development's being done in the cloud. Um,
yeah,
I noticed the other thing, the issues with the cloud is that being able to understand cloud pricing and figure out how much your solution is going to cost
yeah,
as it scales.
yeah.
So do you help people cost model, like how much their application is going to cost them, like how much a user is going to cost them to run in a cloud, or is there a notion of that, of helping people understand that? Because for example, I've looked at AWS's pricing, and their pricing to me isn't very clear until you start running applications in their environment, and then you start to have a better idea of how much it's going to cost. And so, for example, as a marketing person, it's hard to understand how you're going to set up pricing without understanding your cost. I can calculate customer acquisition cost. I have a general idea of how much I can charge considering my competition out there in the marketplace. But then I need to very quickly figure out how
Yeah.
much is this application going to cost me as it's turning up in the cloud. We're collecting data, we're liberating data, and we're doing all these different things. So, do you help people figure that part out?
Yeah, we have a more DevOps partner that
Mhm.
work on this.
Okay.
So we are not specialized in this, because
Okay.
it's really another.
Yeah.
yeah, skills.
Yeah.
And we have partner on this that do only that.
Only
So
that.
they know, they knows, yeah, pretty well, pretty more.
Yeah.
But you have right. You don't know. Even you can simulate. You don't know your metrics because when you don't have launch, you don't have metric of user.
Yeah.
So you cannot predict really well. You must play with logarithmic thinking. So you must think, okay, I know this user will do 100, okay, 100 X objects, okay, per month, I think. But you don't know. So it's really simulation. This scalability is more the cost of the cloud, okay? It's something, but when I speak scalable, I speak scalable on the tech part.
Right. I understand. Yeah.
Not even cloud,
Yeah.
because you can have your own server, in the cloud, but not in the cloud way of AWS. But it can work pretty well too.
Yeah.
A lot of people right now, SaaS people, 37 sign-on, go out of cloud. They retake server themselves and redo it.
Yeah, it's funny because I read an article by a CTO
Yeah,
last week who said, if you
yeah.
actually do the math, their net margins are 30%. So there's a lot of reasons to do the cloud, but it's not actually to save money. If you want to do it cheaper and you can scale, there's a lot of interesting reasons to be off the cloud. So that's an interesting point that you make there. Okay.
Yeah, it's really interesting because at the beginning the market was not the same,
Yeah.
and now they understand that they win so much money to do services with with big gross margin, and they try to get too much, and people see it
Yeah.
and go back. So I think it's a market, equation, equilibration that's
Yeah.
going. It's a good thing. It's a cool thing. But yeah, for the scalability, it's really on the technical part to do your app, okay, in your don't speaking of server,
Hmm.
if your app can have 100% per X per day per month per it's depend of your metric and what you want to achieve,
Right.
as a business.
Okay.
But take a foundation that can do that, because if you must redo it, it's a lot of work and it's a big rework risk. Okay.
Sounds good.
Another thing people forget a little bit is marketing and MVP can start together. It's the best thing to do. It's parallelize marketing with the development. You want, when you will launch, minimum 10, 20, yeah, 10, 20, 100, if best case, beta users. And good marketing is slow. Community, SEO, bad marketing, or not bad marketing, but um, not cheap marketing is
Yeah.
fast. Google AdWords, etc. Facebook ads, all the ad is fast. You pay, you have. All the good marketing that take times. If you want to stay for years, and normally you will,
Yeah.
it takes time. So you must go and launch it when you start to develop. Yeah, I think, and a lot of people forget that.
Well, it's interesting. At SaaS Stock, I talked to a lot of companies, and it seemed like, by and large, the bulk of their focus was on content marketing and community marketing and what I would call more organic marketing. And just today, I was reading an article on LinkedIn about someone who was talking about the difference between quality of leads that he gets from community centric marketing and from Google Ads. And he said less
Mm.
than, I think, 0.2% convert from Google Ads, as opposed to his community marketing, it's around 7%. So
Yeah.
so the leads are much more expensive, but your close rate and the amount you're going to spend on sales and everything else are much lower as well. So no, definitely understandable.
Yeah, 2 to 7% is 3x.
Yeah. No, but it wasn't two. It
Yeah,
was
it's
two.
it's
It
pretty
was
big.
0.2%. So it wasn't
Ah,
three,
2 10.
two tenths of 1%. It was like 30x. Keep going.
30x.
Yeah, 30x. So no,
Yeah,
it's
okay, yeah.
it's it's huge.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it's normal because what you want, for software, okay, innovative software, you want followers, you have a vision, like Jesus, with the table of 10 commandments, it's your manifesto, and you want people that say, hey, I follow you. And so they trust, and to trust in you really the community, I think it's the best way,
Mm-hmm.
because ads is not trust, it's I want a transaction, I want an offer. It's not the best phase innovation. You want fate, because you are at the beginning. If you are in the you have two phases on the base on the business for me. The explorations part, where you have innovation, you create a product, okay, and you grow it to the up, and after you have the exploitation phase, or when you can put many men, it's working, everything, you have no more unknown, and you want just to sell it and have more money. And it's in this case, yeah, Google Ads could work because it's an offer you want to sell. But at the beginning, for me, community content, it's best, and organic take time. So start fast, start when you can, at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay. I go to the product launch. We have finished the product development and we will launch. There are many down. The first one is to don't change your problem too fast. Stick to your product vision. I see many times people, okay, user don't love it. Maybe we must redo this, everything. We will change. So yeah, stick to the vision. It's really important. Don't change the problem too fast, because if you change the problem too fast, you have the problem we speak a little bit earlier, of changing too many time on vision, and it's complicated to create something on a foundation that moves so fast.
Okay.
You can become too many things for too many people. If you do it, you will be nothing for a lot of people. So you must not lack of excellences, and try to understand that, okay, it's not enough. How can I do better? And just focus on what is not good, and try to be excellent on something. Uh, so you must not expand, but stay lean and focused every time.
Yeah.
So it's the first one. Uh, the second one, when you launch, you will have feedback. So if you don't have feedback from a user, it's really a problem. But sometimes it happens. Why? Because maybe you have a paid GTM strategy. Okay, so you don't want a user use it free, so you sell it. You do demos like this because you are in B2B, so you can. But you don't sell it because people don't know you. It's an innovating product, so it's difficult to sell it. And if you don't sell it, you don't have feedback. So you are in a problem of bad loop of no good information from real user, and you will guess needs, and you will add maybe features and guess what you want to add more, what you will change, but you don't have real user. So it's really something that's it can be really distracting, really really bad for SaaS. And don't have feedback for friends. Friends don't. It's not enough. It's not enough. You must need real user that don't know you so much. Okay, they must love the product most than you. So friend is not that. Friend, they love you, but they don't love the product at first sight. So you must find someone that love more the product than you. So
Okay.
a new user. Okay.
So someone who's not contaminated, someone who doesn't have who's biased.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no bias. Another thing is to don't add functionality to patch a non-great experience. It's something that I see a lot too. If you want to, you don't have the result you want on something, and you will say, okay, so I will add something. But really, no, normally it's not to add something. You will create more problem, or you will grow the scope of features, of flow, of outcome pursuing, but you will not fix the problem at first sight. Okay, so you must really be core feature focus. You really need to have a goal of high satisfaction and follow this. So if you don't have high satisfaction, patch, don't add functionality, but really try to fix the flow, the user flow. So a good way to think on that is if you have 100 time, resources, money to add and improve the product. So do you add feature or do you improve feature? And then you see it on the screen. It's 20, just 20 of adding max. It's 18 of improving, constantly improving at the beginning.
Okay.
Okay. So it's really the don't. And for the do, we have some to did it. So the first one of the do for product launch is to be data informed on the launch day, so day one. You need to know what's happened. You need to have product analytics. You need to have other observation, like OJAR, like many tools like that. But you need many data and observation on your user, okay? Qualitative and quantitative.
Yeah. That's really powerful. I started using a new SaaS last year, and I talked to the customer success person a few months afterwards. And I was amazed
Yeah.
because as we were talking about it, they're like, well, you used it like this, used it like this. I can see you've done this and you've done this. It was really impressive when you're having the conversation with them and they know everything you've done within the application. So they know,
Yeah.
and that's like a really meaningful conversation. And instead of having to tell them everything that you're doing and you're spending your time, they're saying, "Hey, I saw you did this," and also saying, "Have you thought about using it like this or something like that?" And it's just, well, I think with all the data, with all the touch points we're able to capture in the software for marketing teams and for customer success people, it's so powerful to know what's going on inside your application, inside your solution.
Yeah, it's really interesting how we can be more data informed and consider the time of the user. When you speak to him, you know it pretty well, and
Yeah,
you can research on them pretty well. You can target them pretty well. So it's really nice tool to do to pass from quantitative to qualitative interview, and it must be used this way. And even developer, each team can use it, and it's really a 360 around view of the customer, of the users. So another one is to gather users' feedbacks methodically. It's really something that is not done. Not to gather user feedback, okay? The methodology is not the same thing. So you must have a constant flow of user insight, and you must. It's better to have cohort feedback because as we speak about FUX, you only have one FUX one time to do a first impression. So it's cool to have cohort. You have 110 people come in. You get that feedback. You do change, and another cohort come in, and you ask them what's your first experience, what's the satisfaction, etc. Okay.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because if you don't do this, you can be. I seen that too. You can have problem to herd every time the same people. Okay, and they have an idea of what you are, and they will advise you, but they don't have an idea of what you have on how you have evolved. So it's really important to keep adding new fresh one and have a clear view of the reality of the perception of others. And this thing is difficult. Yeah. So yeah. So this one, after you have the launch, for me, it's really a launch is a celebration. For me, you must treat it like celebration for a community because you launch something new, something innovative, something people must trust you to pursue your vision to have a product that fill the vision, and it's not something easy to do. So to market a community, a celebration of community is like a little family. Okay, it's a family, it's a community around this vision, around it can happen. Okay, we think it's possible and we want it to happen. So you really use private access. You can use small batch of accept. You can really use community content, and a lot of time MVP are launched, and it's like I wait feedback, but they are not, they are not an ecosystem creating around, and it's really important. I don't Figma was really a good sell to adopt right now, and starting with a community because they want to fix problems. So if you heard them and I think you can create a really great product, and the launch is a celebration of this, I think. You see?
Okay, curious. What other companies do you think of that did a great job like that? Can you others?
Oh yeah, there are a lot. Maze is good. Figma is good. You have of communities more. It's more on the designer. There are a lot of community. I think Dribble did, but it's not for me a SaaS, but more services. But yeah, many creative community. Gumroad, I think, did a good thing on that too.
Okay.
Yeah, you have a lot of for community.
I mean, it's a great idea. It's harder to do than it's challenging to do that together. So.
And it has his own name right now. You have product-led growth, but you have two community-led growth.
Yeah, yeah. I think also
Yeah,
increasingly also the other thing that's is getting my attention is also partner led growth, which is the other P led
yeah,
growth.
I love it too.
Because I think also early on when you're looking at product, just FYI for all you people out there, when you're looking at your product and you're going to build your MLP or your MVP, make sure as part of your marketing study you've looked at the partner landscape and see if there's a partner that you can latch onto. Any leads, any
Yeah,
prospects you get from a partner are already
yeah.
pre-qualified to a great extent, and they'll go through the funnel much faster. So make sure you're keeping that in mind.
Yeah, I think you're right. We didn't speak about distribution, but distribution is really. I repeat. I have finished the slide. Distribution is really something we must check for SaaS because it's really a complexity, and
Oh,
partner-led growth is a way of distribution
yeah,
as community. I think you have growth that can change to growth. It's like I have a SaaS that start with as a plugin,
hmm,
okay, of Shopify,
hmm,
and become its own standalone SaaS.
right,
So it start by a partner-led growth, by the marketplace-led growth, okay, by Shopify,
yeah,
and expand to every SaaS market, so Magento, PrestaShop, etc., because e-commerce are plugin. So yeah, it's a way of thinking, and distribution is really something on the go-to-market. We didn't speak too much on go-to-market. It's something I will speak in a SaaS product. Because it's really something a lot of people want to know about launch. If you want to have a good strategy or go to market, it's not easy right
yeah.
now. And distribution with partner is a way to do it.
Yeah, no, I think who is it? Reveal, who's a unicorn, and they help you basically use other people's data. So they let you look other people's data and find correlating data that can lead you to more business. And
Yeah,
they built their own platform. But then one of the first things they built is a native integration into Salesforce because it's all about
yeah,
CRM data, and so that made a lot of sense. And then, of course, they've built lots of other plugins into other platforms as well. But that I think you get instantly credibility. Like you go to Salesforce, you see someone's a member of their ecosystem, it gives them instant credibility. And they also control the quality of the integration. Salesforce doesn't just let anybody on there, so that there's a certain
yeah.
qualitative aspect as well. So those are all good points. What do you see? What is like the one biggest thing that founders, if you think about founders when they go forward and they want to build their MVP, what is the thing they don't get the most? What is the thing is it that they're not humble and they just think they've got the best idea ever, or what is the biggest pitfall, or they think they can do it themselves in house, or what is the biggest pitfall?
I think yeah, it's interesting question. For me, of my experience right now, I think they want to go too fast at the beginning
Yeah,
before development,
yeah,
and they want to go too fast at the before the development of the MVP. So
yeah,
defining searching, it's boring to search. It's better to create,
yeah.
and I love creating, so
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, but doing research and making sure you're taking the right baby steps makes sense.
Yeah. So and say if they want to go maybe too fast at the beginning,
Hmm.
and after when it's launched, don't want to they will want to go too broad, okay, and not narrow.
It's interesting because
Yeah, I think the
yeah, I think project creep. I can see how that would be a problem. It's like, oh, we need this, but actually, no, you need to keep it simple. These are all really good ideas.
yeah
Everybody, I really recommend that you go to asasproduct.com and go read the manifesto. To me, it looks like the 10 commandments of product development, of building an MLP. So I highly suggest it, that you go there. Um, by the way, Axel, thank you so much for your time today. We'll have you back on. Maybe we can talk
thank
about
you.
some of these things about go to market in a future time together. On Thursday,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm sorry. What were we gonna say?
we are yeah, with pleasure to speak on new topics like maybe customer centric, maybe a lot of topic that we will speak about in a SaaS product. So we will have a lot of topic to speak, I think, to create great SaaS. Yeah.
I think we need to create a book of the month club. Maybe come on and talk about books in our line of business as well. Everybody out there in the audience, this week on Thursday, the 10th, we're gonna have Gilles Berthaud, who is CEO and founder of Livestorm, on. We're gonna talk about how we can use video to engage. I have a background in writing. I think video and is so powerful. Such a great way to engage. Axel, thank you so much for your time. I'm inspired. I'm gonna go do more research on my ideas and try and bring you something a little more concrete. Thank you. Have a great day.
Yeah. Thank you a lot, and yeah, keep pushing on your idea. It's
Okay.
like this we can create innovating SaaS and
Okay.
change people.
Yeah. Change people. That's good. Everybody, have a
Yeah.
great. We'll see you all on Thursday, and we'll talk to everybody soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye.